Yo, what's up? Yeah, I'll get to that. Got a nice big old, I don't want to say gamble, but nice big old calculated risk here first. I'm gonna start with discharge. Okay, we have a quick smoke before people come in, and then we're gonna fucking get this popping. You are here. I thought you were muted. No, I'm here. I'm here. Just woke up, ready to go. I've just spent the last like 45 minutes getting all this stuff together. These are ones that are ready to. Earlier, I don't know if you guys saw this earlier. It was several hours ago, uh, like slash yesterday. But I did for the 5 minutes before the reveal of the league. I had 6 gems to double corrupt, and the first 4 that I double corrupted were divergent cast when damage taken, divergent cast when damage taken, divergent cast when damage taken, and divergent inspiration. And I hit 2120, 2120, 2120, and 2120, which is a 40 divine gem. So we made was that like 120, 130 divines in 4 minutes, which is quite funny. But just because, yeah, it's quite hard to sell things at the end of the league. Obviously, league is about to end, and also gems are a lot more expensive. Old quality gems are a lot more expensive on standard than they are in leagues. So it's hedged by standard value. Not that I actually really care about standard, but doing this is it's not a bad in terms of spending money at the end of the league like this. Now that we know that vultures aren't being removed, we don't have to worry about that long term. So this is just like a little fun thing to do. We're gonna profit on paper and league, whether or not they actually sell. To be seen. You can see here I just sold the Divergent Inspiration that I earlier, 2120, 9 divines. At 2120, we got 120 divines of custom damage takens, 9 divines of Divergent Inspiration, 75, 75, 150 divines of 2120 Vol Phantasmal Smite. Yeah, I've got easily probably a mirror worth of alt qualities. Thanks for your strats, no problem, dude. We'll go over this one in a second with you guys. I'm just gonna have a cigarette here real quick. Ooh, breachstones are going up. Let me grab my drink and then we're good to go. Hey, hold up, Venom. I'll see you though.
Yes. Yes?
Jumping in. Yeah, I'm gonna cover, guys. We're gonna do this stuff first, and then I'll start answering questions and talk about what I think about the new league. Huh? Alright. Start doing the odds here. Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing, Josh? Hey, oh, super hype. Are you deleting profit from lenses? I made 250 divines in 25 minutes earlier. 2120 Phantasmal Smite, 2120 Phantasmal Smite, 2120 Divergent Casting Damage taken times 3. Got some ready ones to go, and then we're going to lens these. I'm just laying out the math here. And I'm also putting in the formulas so that if people want to calculate this in the future, they can do it themselves. Just enter the data. There we go. So, for what we have lined up right now, Jesus, this is... Maybe I'll move this to the next... it doesn't work. So our average, just by using the lenses on... This is just for the primary gens. We should be profiting, on average... we should make the average return right here is the positive 13.17 divine profit. That is on the primary gems here. We're at 7 and 5. See 245. Can I zoom a bit on the sheet? Zoom in or out? I'll make the sheet public for you guys after. I'm just doing it in a way where I can see it right now. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna cover that soon. We're just gonna do this first. All right, so on this little test here, guys, sorry that took so long to enter the data on, but just for when I pass it along later, it'll be easier to see. You can see here, we've got the weightings laid out of the gem types, all the costs, the averages, blah, blah, blah. And we can see that what we're doing right here has an average outcome of our... you can see that this is a net profit of 20.63 divines simply by doing this. So we'll then do it. I'll do a separate sheet after, or I'll keep it on this sheet, but I'll put a separate data entry for the vault orbs, how to calculate that. But the purpose here being that with the new league coming on, you know, people are always asking, what is a good strategy? What are different things I can do? I'm actually going to hide chat so you guys can see this properly. Things like this are lucrative and very easy to find and to profit off of at any point or any stage of the league. Simply just have to enter and have the appropriate data. So the first thing that we're doing here, obviously we have our gem types. Then we're weighing out the different weightings of the different qualities. Superior, which is the basic gem type. So if you're to buy a superior gem from Lily, it's always going to be superior. Obviously, anomalous, divergent, and phantasmal are the alternate qualities. Phantasmal is much less common. There's like only a few gems have phantasmal versions. Most of them are just superior, anomalous, divergent. Generally speaking, we're going to be targeting those ones because the ones that also have phantasmal, the odds get worse. Now, the reason why most people actually kind of suck, or not kind of, I shouldn't say suck, but the reason why a lot of people, where they fuck up when doing this in terms of profit is that they use the lens just on the base version of the gem all the time. So they use it on superior, right? Because that's just how every gem comes. Now, if you're to take a look at something like determination, let me zoom in. We can see here with determination, divergent is the one that we're looking after, right? That's the most expensive one. And you can see if we use a lens, which cost 130 chaos each, if we're to use a lens on a normal gem, that means that, and since it has to change the gem type, and there's only two options, either anomalous or divergent. So the total weighting is 120, which means to get divergent, it's 20 out of 120, so it's a 1 in 6, right? Now, if we instead purchase anomalous, which is a version that nobody wants, right? Most people, they're going to be using these gems on superior, and because 5 out of 6 times it's going to brick and go anomalous, that means there's always a lot of the like shitty alternate quality versions on the market. So if we buy anomalous instead, right now, since we use the lens on that, since it has to change the type again, that means it can either go superior or divergent. And so we'll note that the total weighting is now only 70 and divergent is 20 of that, which means it's a 1 in 3.5 chance. So instead of it being a 1 in 6, it's actually a 1 in 3.5. However, almost always the market is going to value the gems on a cost accounting basis as if it were being done from the superior version. That's almost always, like if you were to do the math, it almost always roughly works out to be that's how you can calculate the cost of it, right? So for example, determination, which is, as we mentioned, would be a 1 in 6, typically is going to cost 6 times the cost of the lens plus 6 times the cost of the gem. And we can see here that when we go slide down to the price of the desired, it's 1750, which is 7 divines, right? And so if you look on the market right now, if you're to buy them by divines, the lenses are a divine each. Plus 6 determination gems would be total price per gem. Roughly 1.5 divines. So you can see that it's 7.5 divines, right? And so that's a lot of the time that cost accounting exists right there. However, as I mentioned, since if we use it from anomalous, oh, sorry, the cost per gem here is reflecting the anomalous purchase price. A regular determination will only be about 20C. So yeah, almost exactly. It's not even 1.5. It's 1. It's exactly 7 divines. Now, you can see here, if we purchase 6 anomalous gems instead, that will give us a total cost of 300. So 1.2 divines plus, or sorry, not 6. We only need 3.5. So 150, 225, 250. So exactly, we'll spend 1 divine worth of those gems, and instead we'll only spend, you know, 2.5 divines there. So that's 3.5 divines, but it still sells for 7, right? And that's where that discrepancy exists. So you can see that the average outcome, if we're doing it now, that's on a that's accounting for the fact that we have 6 of them. Or how many gems was it? 6, yeah. So you can see the average. So just divide this by 6. That means the average profit per gem is 500 divines or 500 chaos each, right? So that exists at any point in the league. And sorry, the reason why I'm taking the time to explain this is that this isn't just because it's the end of the league or I have a lot of money or whatever it is. It's almost always going to be contingent on the price of those two things: the base cost of a gem at 2020 and the cost of either the primary or secondary lens, as well as the odds from using that on a basic gem, which is superior, right? So if you're trying to do this for yourself and find profit, all you have to do are look for ones where you can purchase it at an alternate quality, and that gives you a higher odd. Now, almost always, anomalous and divergent will either be a 100 or 100 weighting, or 100 and a 20 weighting. Now, there's some cases where like it's like 110 or 50 and 10. It gets a little confusing. But for the most part, anomalous and divergent always actually have higher weightings than superior, which means that if you, and there's only 3 total options, in almost every case of every gem, it's going to be better suited to being the lens being used on an alternate quality than it is on a superior version. The only exception to that is that some gem types actually have expensive versions of both. And a good example of this, which I didn't actually account for here, is inspiration. So you can see here, I only accounted for the desired, right, with divergent. However, if we take a look, what divergent does is it gives additional reduced mana cost. But anomalous with inspiration, it actually gives supported skills have increased critical strike, which is not a brick. Certain people actually still want that. And we can see here, a 2020 anomalous is actually still a divine, right? So it's not like if you're using it on determination when it's anomalous, where with anomalous determination, if you do not hit divergent, it's going to be going to superior, right? And so it's almost a 0 value there. So there's additionally cases like that where you can find ones that actually have relatively expensive backups. And that's the reason why actually Assassin's Mark here, it's showing it as a net loss, right? Because it's only accounting for anomalous. However, Divergence Assassin's Mark is actually the exact same price. So the average return here is actually plus 100. Can anyone explain the difference? Yeah, primary is for active skill gems and secondary is for support gems. That's it. So primary, again, just think of it as secondaries for supports, primaries for everything else. And when you say active skill gem, sometimes that terminology confuses people. And then after that, I'm going to show you and explain to you guys how how you can like get vol orbs to work in your favor. But anyways, you can see here though, and again, I'm not accounting for the sale price of the off gems, right? So like the ones that are non-primary desire, and still our net outcome here is 20.63 divines. So let's see how it goes. 1 for 1, for 2, for 3, 2 for 4, 3 for 5, 4 for 6, 5 for 7. Daddy just made some bank. So what was our sale price here? Price of desired. Righteous fire. 400. So we just hit 5. So we actually got 2,000. So Okay. So then we keep moving on here. Let's zoom this out a little bit so it's easier to read for me. Smite. Smite is actually a bit of a harder one because of it's got the different types. We'll do Smite last. Assassin's Mark. We only have one of these. Booyah! One divine. So we hit it. Okay, now anomalous. We're going for divergent. 0 hits there. Tempest Shield again. That's a 1 in 3.5. So only doing 2 of them is actually. Not unusual that you would lose there. Okay, divergent. Oh, daddy. We hit it twice. Let's go. Alright, actual hits on divergent. Determination is 2. Price of desired is 1750. Actual return there is 3500. And now we'll move on to smite. Anomalous, 0 phantasmals, it looks like. Total cost 150 minus 750. All right. So our actual profit there, guys, it says our average profit was going to be 13.17 divines, and we actually ended up making 18.9 divines profit. That's just on the primary lenses. Or sorry, the primary gems. So we ended up hitting 5 Divergent Righteous Fires, 1 for 1 on our anomalous Assassin's Mark, and no Lucarino on the Phantasmal Smites or the Divergent Tempest Shields. Phantasmal Smite, even though you can see it has very low odds, the net outcome is still the average outcome is slight profit at 125 chaos per. However, the double corrupting is actually where you get most of your money on these. As you can see here, Smite 70 divines, 2120 Vol Smite is 70 divines. And so that's more of one of those ones where it's kind of a zero sum. You either hit it or you don't. Or like, you don't profit until you do hit it, similar to double corrupting or whatever, like an awakened empower or awakened enlighten. It's very spiky in terms of the value. Whereas something like Divergent Righteous Fire and Assassin's Mark is incredibly, or Inspiration, or even Arrogance are really easy to calculate because it's a 50-50, right? So there's not going to be much variance to that. It's almost exactly calculable. And then something like Determination, where it's a 1 in 3.5, similar to Tempest Shield. Other ones that come to mind there are Summon Skitterbots, as well as Precision. Those are all 1 in 3.5s if you use them from alternate quality. That's relatively calculable. Obviously, there's going to be some variance to that, but not unmanageable amounts. And then something with Phantasmal Smite, where it was, 11% or something. Obviously, there's going to be pretty large swings on that. So now we're going to move on to secondary gems here. You can see that our average outcome here is a net positive return of 7.5 divines with an average amount of hits. These ones are 50-50, so it's pretty easy to calculate. Booyah, 1 for 1, bitch. 1 for 2. 2 for 3. 2 for 4. 3 for 5. Getting on that better half. Alright. Ooh, 1 for 1. 1 for 2. 2 for 3. 3 for 4. 4 for 5. 4 for 6. 4 for 7. On that better half of RNG, baby. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, Divergent Inspiration, Clean, 4 Divines. Arrogance, 3 Divines. What was our average actual hits? 4 and 3. Actual outcome. Would be what, 4,300. Okay. What equals S? What is that? 15 minus M15. All right, so instead of profiting by, again, our average profit there would be 20. Now, again, one of the things I don't account for here is the sale price of the ones that are not the desired outcome. And so this is actually a much higher figure. Actual net equals T. Is that T10? Yeah, plus T. Alright, so we just profited 30 divines. By doing that, took us about, I don't know. I mean, obviously it took me a while because I've been entering the data. If you were to do it yourself, though, it would be rather easy. Now, if we also factor in the sale price of the quote-unquote undesirables, we got 1 divine, 2 divine, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8.5, 8.75, and the important overall net. 38 divines. So, we made 38 divine profit there, guys. Does it count that you're lucky? No, but you can see here what the average outcome is, right? So the average net, and then if this is the case on the average net, that would mean that you would have higher actual value of the brick cost because there would be more bricks, right? But even if you were just to add the 8.75, which again it would actually be higher, the average profit in doing this, that exact setup I just had, would be 29 divines. We ended up making 39, so I was lucky, 100%, but that's why I have all the data laid out, so that you can see what the average return is. But yes, it very much accounts for the fact that I'm lucky, which is why I bothered to put this together. So that, you know. Man. I'm not doing this for my sake. Fuck. Okay. So now the next step of this is going to be moving on to the corruption side of things, right? And so I'll show you. I'm not going to fill out a whole spreadsheet on that, but basically, what we're going to do to check that out, whether or not we're going to determine if it's worth it, we can see just a quick glance here. As I said, these are 4 divines. A 2120, I know because I just sold one, is 9 divines, and 2023 is 12 divines. When there's not a vol option, so if a gem does not have a vol skill, right? There's not actually if you double corrupt, right? It can't do the same effect twice, and this is where people fuck up doing math a lot of the time, right? So corrupting a gem can either do change the level, change the quality, change it to a vol skill, or do nothing, right? Now with level and quality, obviously you can go up or down. So there's 6 total options. However, a gem has to do 2 corruptions in a row, right? And so 50% of the time, it's going to have an effect that removes 50% of the pool, right? So it's not actually 25, 25, 25 and then half of those having up down. There's actually only 3 options, because if it picks either vol or do nothing, then it removes both of those from it, because both of them have no effect, right? And this is only for gems that have no vol version. So there's not, again, it's not actually 6 total options. It's only ever at most 5, which makes it so that if you just want plus, for example, this is why double corrupting like empowers and enlightens and stuff is so good, because first of all, you don't care about the quality at all, and second, there's no vol version of it, right? So the first corruption the gem does, it can either go plus level, down level, do nothing, up or up quality, or down quality. There's only there's only the 5 options. And then the second corruption, the only option there is for them to either go up or down quality or the gem experience. Now, because of that, it makes it a 1 in 4. It's actually a little bit slightly better than 1 in 4. Whereas if you're to do it with a regular vol orb, it's actually a 1 in 8. So because it doesn't do the thing twice, right? So it doesn't remove half of the pool, right? So if the first one, if the first corruption does +1 gems, then obviously it doesn't matter what happens after that. If it goes plus quality, though, right, now it only has 3 options, which are either plus level, down level, or do nothing. So it's a 1 in 3 in that situation. And in the other situation, again, the order of operations matters. If it picks the do nothing, which is, again, there's only 3 total options: do nothing, up, down. So 1 in 5, right? So it picks that, and then it becomes a 1 in 4. So you got 1 in 5 and 1 in 3, and then combine those, which is 1 in 4. So when we're doing it with gems like this, where there is no other option, because there's only, and this is another part of it as well, losing a level on a gem is never really a loss. So in most cases, the only actual bad outcome you can have on a gem is for it to lose quality. Because you can always just, even if a gem goes minus a level, you can just level that gem further, right? You can just put in your backup weapon and keep, and the experience will come back, right? And so do nothing it usually has a very little change in the overall value, unless it's a gem that gets double corrupted all the time, something like Blade Vortex, or Righteous Fire is probably another one too, because people want the Vol skill. Typically, ones that have Vol skills will be corrupted a lot because people want the Vol version. But things like Divergent Cast when damage taken, Divergent Inspiration, Divergent Mark on hit, Divergent Determination, stuff like that, they don't actually get double corrupted all that often. And because of that, the sale price of like a 2020 clean and a 2020 that is corrupted are like the corrupted one's always gonna be a little bit cheaper, because obviously it doesn't have the option to be corrupted, but it's not a huge gap, right? And literally the only negative outcome you can have is to lose quality, right? Which means that you have a situation where if it goes +1 gems, you're getting 5 times the price, right? The return is 5 times if you're not to corrupt it. If it goes plus quality, you're getting double or triple the price, right? If it goes no effect, you lose maybe 10%, like half a divine, right? If it and then if it goes minus quality, the only bad outcome, you lose like 3 divines. So in the scenario where you corrupt it, there's only 4 possible outcomes. You either let's actually use real values here. So Divergent Inspiration, 7 divines. It's either going to be worth 35 if it's +1, or it's going to be worth 10 if it's plus quality, or it's going to be, so that the average there would be +3 total value, plus 28. So that means our overall net right now would be 31 positive. If it goes minus quality, it'll be down to 3 divines. So that means 28, and then do nothing. Let's say it loses 1, 27. So that means that the positive expected value, or the return of double corrupting minus the cost of the temple, 26, is 26 divines on average by double corrupting, right? And then the amount of times you have to do it, obviously. So 1 in 4. That means that every time you double corrupt it, you've got a net positive expected return of 6.5 divines or whatever. I could write this all down. I probably will, actually, because me explaining it verbally is not probably helping many of you. But my point being that double corrupting something is very, very often, I know people tend to perceive these things through the lenses of it's like this like sort of YOLO gamble. Very much so it is not, and very much so you can make a lot of money doing this. As you could see before I even laid out the gems, I told you we were going to make money in almost like the situation that would have to arise for us to have lost money using those lenses there would have to be an outlying situation where it would be about a 3% probability of us actually losing money in that situation, given how favorable the average outcome is for us. Now, I ended up getting lucky, as I mentioned. Our average return would have been, statistically, if you were to do this an infinite amount of times, given the exact market conditions, about 29 divines profit. We ended up making 39 divines profit, but either way, there was no anxiety on my end in doing that. In the same way, and now that we have a bunch of gems to corrupt, I can almost guarantee you, with about a 90% degree of certainty, that we are going to profit here. I'm not going to lay out the exact. It's pretty easy to calculate. We'll see how many gems we're double corrupting, and when we do, we can just multiply that by their cost, and then we'll see what we end up with sale price wise. Okay. So how many gems do we need? How many temples do I need here? Fuck, there's a lot of temples. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Alright, 21 temples. That's 8 divines, 8.5 divines worth of temples. I've got 3, 6, 7, 8. I need 13 more temples. Just if Vexy, if you're still watching, can you give me a hand at buying these? Like, I'll give you the money, but just so it doesn't take me so long. Or if anyone else is in game and doesn't mind lending me a hand, just so you guys don't have to watch me trading for 45 minutes trying to get the appropriate amount of temples. No worries if not, no pressure on that, but save quite a bit of time. It's Vec. Vexy sounds like a chick. Yeah. Earn your stripes, and I'll treat you less like a bitch. You gotta earn that gender assignment, boy. 10, so I need 11 more. I'll give you the burden of grabbing half of those. I might need you to sell the divines into chaos too, if you don't mind. But yeah, this will get you that's 490, and then you'll need another 30. It's enough to grab 5. Actually, maybe here, just take. Wait. Sorry, I don't know why. It's really annoying because I can't control this on YouTube. But there's a 30-second delay. I forget because Twitch doesn't have that bad of a delay. I'm just gonna give you 4 divines, liquidate it to chaos. Buy as many as you can. I need to have a cigarette really quickly, as well as go pee. And just whatever you're unable to buy. Oh, here's chaos. Here, these guys will sell you chaos, Vexy. Thanks, Vex. I wrote it in goddamn chat. You only have 4. Didn't I just give you 6 divs? Oh. You can read? I don't know. You Australians. As a purebred Brit myself, I must condemn the reading of your peoples. Yeah, I'll see you in a couple minutes. Thanks a lot, Vexy. Appreciate it. Okay. Sorry that I typed so much there. I need to have a couple of darties. I can grab whatever, however many you have on you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Okay. So on note, trusty old notepad here. 3 times divergent. Arc on hit. 2 times divergent. Determination. 6 times divergent inspiration. 3 times anomalous arrogance. 6 times divergent righteous fire. 1 time anomalous. Four, 7, 1.5. Some guy just listed a fucking 2020 divergent for 120C. One third of its value. So what I'm calculating here is just how much this is all worth. Okay, so 26, 50, 57. 67 divs. Plus 2100 is another 8. Okay, so our break even here, guys, is 75 divines. As I said, given the power of math, I can almost guarantee you that there is no way we won't profit, and we'll see if I'm right. So here's the fun part. $2023, 9 divines. Okay. We just doubled the value. So the clean sale price is 4.5. Including the cost of the temple. And when I say the total cost, that's assuming you buy the gem on the open market. We actually spent less than that because obviously we made them ourselves. $2023, another 9 divines. Okay, so now we're at 18 divines. Okay, so that one went down a level, but as I mentioned, that's not a big deal because you can just re-level it with experience if you want to. But even if I were to sell it as a 1920, as you can see here, sale price is still 3 divines. And that's actually probably mine. It is mine. 3.8 divines. So if you take mine out of the picture, you see the corruption is 3.4 divines. So the clean sale price is 4 divines, right? And the The bricked version is 3.3. But if it goes plus quality, it goes up 5 divines, and if it goes down a level, it goes minus 0.7, and if it goes up a level, it's 30 divines. So those are equally weighted occurrences, so you can either get plus 5 or minus 0.7 or plus 25 or minus 1. So you can see, and then if it doesn't change at all, it's again about minus 0.7. This isn't even accounting, by the way, 2123, which is an option. It's very rare though. It's like 1 in 30 or something like that. 1 in 32, I think, actually. Depending on if it has a vol gem or not. Those ones are like 10 times the value, at least. $21.20, baby. 5 divines. It was worth 120 chaos before. So right, we're at 9, 18, 21. We're at 26 divines after the first 4 gems, and our total cost was 75. And these aren't even the expensive ones. These are the cheapest options. 'No effect. Exact same price, 7 divines. So we're now up to 9, 18, 21, 26, 33 divs. $20.23, baby. Let's go. $41 divs. We got fire. We're gonna change that to cold. Look at that. It went minus quality and minus level. That's funny. That's rare too. That's also a 1 in 32. Ammo odds is plus quality, plus level. Strangely still the same sale price. I'll say it's 1 div though. Yeah, worst case scenario. Oop, Divergent Righteous Fire with Vol. Okay, so that's also 1 divine because it went down in a level. As I think I mentioned this earlier. When there's the Vol option for something, right? Especially if it's so a Vol skill gem, especially if it has an alt quality, because a lot of people will be trying to get those, right? Because the only way, like, people want to have the Vol, which means it has to be corrupted, right? It's not like Divergent Determination, for example, or one that does not have a Vol skill option. There's no functional difference aside from numerical value of having a corruption on it, so less people corrupt it, right, because of the risk aversion. Whereas using a Vol version of a main skill, so for example, if you're using Righteous Fire or Blade Vortex or something like that, you want to always have the Vol version. Not the case with Righteous Fire, but with Blade Vortex especially, because you can use the fucking, what's the chest piece base called again? The chest base that dropped from Mid-Zeri. That gives +1 to all Vol skill gems. There it is, boys. Look at that. 2120 Vol Righteous Fire. Let's get a little price check on that bitch. Oh, baby. Money, 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 money. It's not worth 300 divines, but it's worth at least 20 to 25. $30, $24, $25. Okay, so now we're at 9, 18, 21, 25, 40, 41, 42, 52, 62, 67. What was our break even? 75. And we are less than halfway. That one went Vol, but went minus quality. It's fun. Each one of these corruptions on the Righteous Fires has done something different. Minus quality, minus level, Vol, plus level, Vol, minus quality, Vol. Getting the whole spectrum here. Oh, 2120 vol, baby. Another 25 divines up, and your boy just broke even. 68 divines. We're now at 83 divines. Oh, sorry, 93 divines. So you can see here, halfway through, we have already made 18 divine profit. We're actually less than halfway through. I have 11 gems left. Minus level wall. Oh, 21. That's so funny. Look at that. It went plus level, minus quality. We literally got like every option you can get. That's so funny. Look, minus quality, minus level, plus level, minus quality, minus level vol, minus or vol minus quality, plus level vol, minus level vol. That's very funny. Still, actually, it's still worth more though than the base. 2 divines. $1.5. Oh, look at that. Too bad. What's that worth? Still worth more. 2023, baby. 3.5.
Hello.
Sorry guys, I can see there's a couple questions there. I just don't want to pass shift, so let me finish this, then I'll answer them. Oh my god. Guys. Holy shit, look at the sale price. 102 divines. When it shows up on Awaken Trade like this, it means it's a confirmed sale price for the last transaction with like the item tag between two players. Holy fuck. That's fucking nuts. Just a reminder that cost us, on average, to make 2 divines. And then we paid half a divine for a temple. So each individual one of those corruptions is 0.5 divines cost for us. Let's see what this is worth on standard. $105 divides. Fucking nuts. Look at that. Sell. We sold the inspiration. As I mentioned, gems tend to be very liquid. You can see though that one that sold there was a 2020, right? As I don't know if you guys were reading chat when I was typing outside. That I was referring to alternate quality and regular gems that go +1 as very liquid, right? However, when I said the ones that are, if it's a alternate quality +1 or a exceptional, an awakened +1, I would categorize those more as either marketable or niche items. Like this would be a niche item. So that just means the sale period is slower. So you'll notice that, if you watch me for, I'm probably going to stream for like 12 hours or some shit. If you watch me throughout that course, you'll notice that the ones that sell first are typically going to be these ones where there's 2020. But anyways, so far, just a little check-in. Our total cost, right, for all the gems and all the temples, and sorry, when I say total cost, I actually mean the total value, because the total cost, as we can see here, We actually only spent 31.9 divines. Plus okay, so we actually spent 40 divines, but the value was 75. Currently, we are at 9, 18, 21, 26, 34, 139, 142, 145, 145, 149, 199, 200, 201, 202, 204, 205 divines. And we still have 4 to go. 205. And again, our total cost at the beginning of this, for all of this so far, has been 40 divines. Yo, look at that life. That's Quetzalcoatl's with tier 1 hybrid life. I can go to 157, and then you could also put just the 10% on there from this thing. Oh, you can't actually. Oh, it's prefix, that's why. Sorry. Yeah, you could put either Hunter's life percent or the fucking that one, and you would have, and then you could also catalyze life 10%, so you could have 157 with 20. $173 life. 173 life with 20%. Kind of nuts. I should farm it first, or can I do hideout style after Axe? Yeah, let me finish this and I'll talk about that. I understand why, especially at this time, I understand why people ask that. I fucking hate that question, though. And this is not on you at all, but I swear to God, it'll be like week 3 of a league, and people will be like, hey man, what did you do to make currency to start the league? I'm like, why is that really that pertinent now? Like, you know, it just happened, whatever, right? But I guess it's because at that moment, they want to know what they could have done better, I guess, right? Or how I got to the point that I'm at financially at that moment. And then after about 1 month into the league, people will start asking me that question because they've stopped playing and they want to prepare for the next league. Or it'll be like a week left in the league and I'll be working on challenges and it'll be like, hey man, what should I do for my league start? And like, we won't even know what the new league is yet. So there's no mechanics. It's at every stage of the league, at least 20 times a day, people ask me what they can do at league start. It drives me fucking bonkers. The importance that, and it's not, I mean, it's partially because of the repetition in which I get asked it, but it's more so like how reflective it is of how much weight the community puts into league start and the importance, right? Like, people act as if every single element of the league is dictated by how you do in the first like 3 days. It's complete bullshit. I mean, it gives you a definite leg up, and if you want to be like mirror crafting or fucking, you know, on that super high end, Yes, like it's important. For 99.99% of people, completely irrelevant. Not completely irrelevant, but very, very 2023, baby. Let's go. But very much so less impactful than they think. To highlight this in Sentinel League, so 2 leagues ago, I leveled this cast on crit discharge to prove a point, the point that I'm making now. Leagues start at Friday Eastern Standard Time, where I am, at 4 p.m. I didn't make it to maps until Sunday at 6 p.m. Because of how, like, obviously leveling is cast on crit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have charges or crit or whatever. I'm not. No. Nope. Not answering that. Don't bother me while I'm doing things. Fuck. What was I saying? I find that shit so distracting. I can't remember what I was saying. Sorry, lost my train of thought. There. Yeah. The last thing in the if you want help with crafting something or pricing something or whatever, the last thing in the world you should ever do is, especially if I'm doing something where I'm explaining something or like doing a lot of repetition for like the purposes of making a guide or whatever, the last thing possibly in the world you should ever do is DM me. That's something completely off topic. While I'm in the middle of that, I have such like super severe ADHD, and task shifting for me is really hard. But like something like that, like the ping where I look and get distracted, literally can throw me off. Like my mood goes down. I forget what I'm saying. I get all flustered and frustrated. And it's also just like if I'm in the middle of explaining something, like just on like a human side of things, like kind of impolite to like interrupt and stop what I'm explaining for the purposes of whatever your individual need is at that moment. There's a crafting help channel on Discord, or if you're in guild, you can write it in guild chat, or at the very least, especially if you're watching stream, wait until I'm done either my explanation or in a situation like this where I'm doing a batch craft or a batch where it's obviously a singular topic. Just wait until I'm done that individual thing. I'm not like angry or anything, but like please don't do that. I know sometimes it seems like I'm being like maybe melodramatic or whatever, but you guys, there's a lot you guys don't see, and if you understood the amount of messages I get a day and the amount of time I have to spend, I don't have to, but I choose to spend answering them, and the stuff that I do off stream and how time consuming and like it's not stressful, but it's like it's a lot. So like when I'm doing this, and especially when I'm doing things that are not necessarily like right now, I'm doing this for my benefit profitably, but I would, if I weren't streaming or trying to explain things, I would have been done this probably 2 hours ago. I wouldn't be marking down the data because I already know it in my head. I wouldn't be stopping to explain why you should do things or the mark or keeping track of each. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's but like earlier today, like today alone, I think I got 212 DMs on Discord. I think about 6 or 7 messages on Reddit and about 8 or 9 emails through my website's help section. And so it's pretty overwhelming. And so like when when I'm actually streaming, especially if I'm in the middle of something, it sometimes boils over. That frustration sometimes boils over. So I'm not actually like upset with anyone, but in the future, if that person was or is listening, please try to respect that if you can. Okay. Yeah, no, it's all good, dude. It's all good. I know that like with league starting and with the end of league coming, I actually like I understand because I've been in this position before when you either get a really sick item or somebody is good with something and you want to like, you know what I mean? Like you don't necessarily think about that other person, not because you're selfish or because whatever, it's because you're excited. And I know 99 times out of 10 it's because people are excited or like they like what I'm talking about. So, you know, I know in a way it's meant with good intention. Um, but like here, like I'll give you an example. I answered before I started streaming. When I woke up, I answered all of my DMs on Discord. I have 84 pending direct messages. 75 message requests since I started streaming 2.5 hours ago. And I know people don't see that behind the scenes, but just trying to explain myself so people don't think I'm being a dick. It's just for my own mental sanity. Oh, as well too, if you guys could do me a favor, if you plan on coming back in the future, because I'm going to go pretty hard this league. If you have questions about like a craft or league start or something like that, do me a favor and check out my YouTube channel or my website first to see if there's either a written guide or a video about it, because that kind of bothers me too. Especially when there's written guides for it, because it's literally like, I don't know if you guys have seen my website, but it's incredibly detailed, like step-by-step stuff. And like with YouTube, there's a benefit on my end, I suppose. Like asking someone a question on YouTube, it's like, well, you know, I'm a viewer, you get paid for people that view you, whatever. This website's not monetized in any way, and I actually pay $80 a month to host and for the fucking thing. So like this is purely done for the sake of information, to the point that it's to my financial detriment to do it. And like there's guides like this in here, like flask crafting, a written guide that is this long with photos, different variations, blah 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 blah, as well as a video I spent like 10 hours putting together, that has an attached spreadsheet or whatever. So, you know, when somebody comes in, they're like, yo, can you tell me how to do this, blah blah blah, and it's like, nah man, I'm not gonna answer that right now. And like that's me trying to, like, it's kind of be not being coy, but it's like, you've obviously put very little effort into, you know, using the resources available. So on my end, it's obviously not that incentivizing, but when that happens en masse over and over, it kind of gets frustrating. I understand that's the nature of being like, if you're like a PoE content creator where it's just like people watch you and have fun and blah 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 blah, but people come to me 9 times out of 10 to explicitly ask me questions, right? So, and that's maybe something that other people overlook too, is that like when you watch a normal stream, the person's like leveling or doing their thing, kind of just sort of explaining what they're doing at time. 85 to 90% of people that come and watch me for the first time will have like a list of questions they want or help with something specifically. And so the amount of time that I actually get to spend to do what I want to do, the more often I stream and the more often I make videos, severely diminishes. So that's why I try to do things like the written guides and the videos, so that, you know, I spend 5 hours making a video, putting it together, but those 5 hours end up saving me like 20 or 30 theoretically. So yeah, anyways, I'm probably over explaining this or beating the horse to death, but if anyone has a question, because I'm going to answer questions as soon as I'm done with this, just please make sure to check both the website, my YouTube channel, because I have quite a bit of them there. And actually, for the expressive purpose of what I'm saying right now, I made a playlist on the channel called Crafting and Currency Guides, because I know some of them are just like gambles, or, you know, turning in like 1,000 sets of divination cards or something like that, where it's not, you're not going to learn anything from that. These are ones where it's like specifically instructional stuff, right? So you can look here, and each one of those is instructional. And as well, the community section of the YouTube here, I update this pretty much every day. Oops. Right, so if you want to know what I'm up to or what's going on or my thoughts on things, this is basically like how people, I don't like Twitter. I've never had a Twitter actually account, so I kind of treat this like a Twitter feed. So what's going on with myself, what's going on in the game, updates, blah blah blah, what I've been crafting every day, I update this section. So there's no, it's not anyone's responsibility to do these things, but I would, if people are coming, this next league I am going to go pretty hard. I'm not going to lie. I think there'll be a lot of quality to the content and what I'll be doing. But obviously, you know, your life is your own. But if you do plan on kind of coming around, if you could do me a real big solid and just try and keep what I was just saying in mind. It makes things a lot easier for me. All right, we got to get two more. Also, sorry, as the last point, if you ever come in here and I'm being like overly like rude or angry or like yelling at someone or calling them an idiot, it's probably because I've been working for like 12 to 18 hours and it's happened, something like that has happened like 6 or 7 times in a row. And I kind of just reach a boiling point. I usually apologize after because I can recognize it in hindsight, but you know, somebody comes in, they're watching for 10 minutes, not realizing that the uptime is like 18 hours. That my, you know, Twitch account just got banned and somebody just tried to hack my bank account. I go and do a Google search for my name and there's 1,300 Reddit posts calling me a terrible human being. I get banned site-wide from Reddit. There's a referendum post put up. My PayPal account gets compromised. People call me an RMT or a cheater despite the fact I have everything I do on video. And, you know, then somebody comes in and starts arguing with me over the validity of a flask thing, or, you know, something like that. It's just like, there's always like little compounding things that kind of send me over the edge sometimes. Sorry. That's actually kind of absurd. How many DMs I've got since the stream started. I guess because of the new league. I hope I don't get globally muted for that. Somebody was just like, does anyone have, is anyone doing 5-ways? I'm stuck at 99. I was like, yo, mama's doing a 5-way. I got 99 problems, but that bitch ain't one. Fuck, I feel like I'm gonna get put on a global mute for that. Anonymously trolling or talking with global chat used to be like my greatest joy. I find it so fun sometimes. Like after having like a hyper serious sort of like high end kind of like left brain, right brain, you know, like very tuned in conversation with like with Twitch chat or whatever, and focusing on that, and then just going to global and people are like arguing over like what 3 to 4C unique is better. And then, you know, either linking like a mirror item and being like, yo, this good, or participating in a conversation as if you're completely ignorant. Fuck. Good times. Global One used to be the shit for that back in the day. The game has been around long enough now that I think most people, like, there are still new players, but for the most part, the level of dialogue is rather elevated because even if there's a new player asking a question, there's enough people that are there that have played long enough to answer their question, right? And so like it's not like two people playing for the first like 3 days, kind of like arguing over things. But like back in the day, like I'd say upwards towards Legacy League, you had like this constant stream of people that were engaging for the first time, and Global One was like the funniest chat ever. It was, there'd be like one person who knew what they were doing for like 100 who didn't, and the arguments people would get over were just the best. Oh shit. Oh fuck, I missed a bunch of trades. Fuck, we missed Divergent Inspiration. Fuck, I hid my chat because somebody was DMing me, and we just missed an 8 divine trade. Fuck. Anyways, you can see right there. Determination, sold again. Oops. How much is this one? Patty getting the belt. Wait, what do you mean TFT is getting shut down? I actually haven't really read all the patch notes yet. As I mentioned, I was answering. I had 210 DMs. So after I watched the league release video thing, I spent probably 3 hours answering messages. I kind of glanced over them while I was walking to get dinner. Looked into things that I thought were relevant to discharge, but I haven't looked at them in their totality. Was there something mentioned about TFT? Hey, Belt Number doing well? Yeah, pretty good, boy. How are you? A recent post or one they made like a month ago? Does the date on it say February 30th? Because they made a troll post saying they were shutting down while it was happening to try and kind of deflect the serious nature of it. I do find it funny though that they still, they still proactively ban every single person that talks in my Discord. There's like 3,500 people in there. Like 500 people left because they wanted to get back on TFT, which I understand. But it's actually grown in size since. And even though that was like 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, people that are coming in there now like asking about league starts. TFT sends them an automatic message being like, you are associating with a homophobic racist. We cannot allow you to participate in our server. People like comment, like they send me DMs, they're like, yo, what the fuck's this about? Like, I just wanted some advice on how to craft this. Obviously a lot of people, most people, understand the reference for why TFT has an issue with me. But especially with the league start coming around, there's a lot of people who are returning that weren't around for that when it was happening a month or whatever ago. But yeah, check the check the message again, because I think it might be that troll one. You thought it was true? Yeah, well, I mean, they wrote February 30th, right? So it's kind of meant to be like one of those, haha, we're gonna rickroll you, we're so smart. Like, obviously anyone who reads that is not gonna look at the date, right? Like what their whole point was I think they actually just wanted to catch me on VOD because they actually posted it on Reddit, which the mods have ended up taking down. But one of the TFT mods were like, Bilton's reaction, LOL, what a fool, because somebody sent me that post and I was like, holy shit, like, there you go, boys, like the truth always wins out. And I guess they thought that was funny. They recorded it and put it on, or clipped it and put it on Reddit. But so I understand, because my initial reaction, obviously, when you see a thing being like TFT is going to shut down due to recent drama, blah, 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 blah. Like, who the fuck, when you first glance at something like that, is going to look at the date, right? Like, it's just like, to your eyes, somewhat superfluous information. Now, if you stop and actually look at it and you see that it says February 30th, you're like, okay, yeah, that's not a real date. This is obviously a troll. But, yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, baby. 21-20 on the last one. Let's go. I honestly, TFT's behavior in that situation kind of reminded me like of a serial killer that like they like leave notes for the police like, haha, I'm so smart, you'll never catch me. Or like the Zodiac killer, like giving fucking, you know, I'm not that invested into what they do specifically. That, I said what I needed to say. The game will do as it will, but I'm not losing any sleep over it. But I feel like they think that they're like this like Machiavellian crime syndicate, and everyone should fear and cower from them. They're a bunch of fucking effeminate, ineffectual neckbeards taking advantage of the naivete of a bunch of people and forcibly positioning them to succumb to their whims. And I mean, even with myself, like, they've attacked what they perceive to be my livelihood, my status, my credibility. I've been banned now twice from Twitch from attacks they've sent through bots. They've tried to ruin my social connections within the game by banning anyone who speaks to me, anyone who trades with me, anyone who joins my guild. I have a pretty firm constitution, but I can, I think for the average person, especially if they were trying to like build a channel or whatever, they were reliant on it for their income, that would be fucking devastating, right? And that's not the behavior of an innocent party. That's what crime syndicates do. I mean, like, it's more important that people know. Informed consent is an important thing, right? Like, the only problem, and I don't know to what degree you watch the videos, but I said throughout them, and people constantly ask me this, and I refuse to engage with it. They'd be like, why, are there any streamers that are doing this, or any fucking, prominent people in the game? And I was like, look, even if they are, I don't have a problem with them, and I'm not gonna fucking go through the grass or dig in the dirt about that thing, because it's not my intention. I'm not trying to take food off anyone's plate. The primary problem that I have with TFT is that it presents itself as a community tool, right? And they have a moderation team that presents itself as if it is acting for the benefit of its players, right? Like, the whole reason they have a vouching system, the whole reason that, they have a blacklist, all these things are meant to protect the interest of the player base. That's what they pretend, or they use as their reasoning for these things, right? They put on a 15-minute only, you can't like post things, whatever, once every 15 minutes. That gets bypassed for the people they want it to. Also, if they see someone posting something they want, like say Vivid Vultures, guess what they do in that 15-minute window? They delete the message, they go and buy all those vultures, and that person can't post it again because they're locked out, right? Like, people think it only affects the mirror service side of things, when they kind of just have a guttural reaction to that, and it's not the case. And a lot of what they do actually severely harms the average person, just in ways they're not familiar enough with the game to really understand or acknowledge without some prompting. That being said, though, it would have been nice if there was some kind of action on GGG's part, but I love the company and I love the game, but they are not. It's not out of character for them not to do anything. Put it that way. Okay. I'm just sorting these by value. And then we sold both determinations already. So with respect to the liquidity of the investment, obviously the determinations are quite good. As you can see, I sold them before I even finished doing the first test. And so, yeah, let's do our grand tally here. And then we sold 17 of determinations, 248 divines. And our total cost, 40 divines. We'll add this quickly here. Alright. Version 2123, 2120, 2023. Twenty 23 and 1920. And Righteous Fire. Wall minus level. Wall level down times 2. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7. Good. Make this more readable. Share this with you guys in a sec. You already know what the outcome is. You can just type it in. 248. What the fuck is wrong with this now? There's 6. 111, 121, 131, 41, 143, 3, 205. There we go. All right, we made 205 divines. Profit through that whole process. Rates or time time expectation. Rates through that whole process. You guys make sure you can access that. Alright.
Hail.
You can access it? Okay. Bro, that's why I was fucking up. You know how I was stuttering that whole time? It's because I didn't have fucking inspiration in my weapon. I was wondering why I had to buy an extra gem there. Dude, I'm retarded. I just did that entire thing without a fucking... missing an entire... Ugh. I just did all of those temples without inspiration in... You could also just buy these, by the way. They're 1 divine each, or if you buy them by chaos, they're 130 C. You can buy them in chaos and sell them. What's going on, dude? I don't answer that question on demand. Otherwise, can't answer that question on demand. Otherwise, I have to answer it every 5.5 minutes. But check out my video guides as well as my website, or just wait for stuff that I cover as I cover it. But I probably have 100 documented strategies that you can do for that. Spread out. Oh, we hit it. Oh my god, we hit it twice. Holy shit. Boys, we just hit Divergent Determination twice out of 3 fucking... It's a 1 in 3.5, but that's an 8 div gem. So we just spent 390 chaos plus 70, so 600 chaos, and we made... Made 11.5 divines doing that. Finally, fuck. And we hit Phantasmal Smite, a 10 divine gem. So, we just spent... $650. 910. 1160. $4.7 divines to make 24. We just made 19 divines in the past 5 minutes. GG. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it, buddy. And we power level it. This one will manually level. There is an option you can do here too. Now that it is already anomalous, if there were a big gap, you can see that you'd have twice as likely of odds of going divergent. So I could still out one divine, or I can use half a divine. Make it have a 66% chance. So let's say I do 10 of them. Alright, that means, or let's say 9. 6 out of 9 would go, and the total cost would be 4.5 plus 9, 13.5, and you would get 6, which is 24. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm dumb. We 100% should be doing it again. Oh, wait, sorry, I was calculating for prime. Those are secondaries. Still worth it. What's going on here, bud? This is the problem with phantasmal gems, because if you just have divergent, anomalous, and superior being the base, and you buy it as say you want divergent, so you buy it anomalous. If it goes superior, you know you can just sell it as it is. However, when it has phantasmal, you get situations like that sometimes where it's we have 50 superior, 100, 100, and then a 20, and so it just often bounces back between divergent and anomalous. It can be annoying. That's why it's so much more expensive than all the other ones, though. There we go. And then when it goes superior, no longer worth it. Oh, righteous. We can do it on righteous fire. That was a 1 in 9 chance to happen. Yeah, it was anomalous, so we had twice the likelihood of it going divergent. So 50 out of 150, 1 in 3, 33.3%. And that happened twice in a row. 1 in 9. Oh, easy enough.
Exile?
How long Feared is there? I've never farmed Fear in my life. Not once. Was answering? Yeah, no, I was as well. He said, how long is the Fear worth farming? That's what I was answering. Oh, this guy's slow. Yes! Ho 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 ho. Yeah! Fuck yeah! A mirror, 75 divines, 50 divines, 40 divines. This is not an effective use of that, but I'm being lazy.
Hello.
120, 225, 275. I have over a mirror of gems in here. Well over a mirror.